So today's topic is about applications of Gauss law. So we have seen already what is Gauss law. So based on that Gauss law, we are going to see some of the applications of Gauss law. So this is case 1. So we are going to prove what is case 1. Electric field due to an infinitely long thin straight wire is radial. So electric field due to an infinitely long thin straight wire is radial. This has to be proved. Okay. Now key points to remember. Infinitely long thin straight wire. First point, that means you have a wire which is infinite length and very thin. Uniform linear charge density, which is lambda, which is del q by del L. So throughout the wire, the linear charge density is constant. It is not going to vary. That is second point. Third, radial vector outward if lambda greater than 0. That means if we deal with positive charge, the radial vector will be outward. Suppose we are going to use negative charge, then the radial vector is inward. So in this case, we are going to deal with positive charge, uniform linear charge density. It is radially outward. Then we consider P and P2 are the line elements of the wire. So we are considering a small del L length, which is P1 and P2. So these 2 points are going to act at the point P. The resultant electric field is radial. That's what we have to prove. So at this point, because of this element, you have some field at this point, and because of P2, you have some field at this point. So if you club together and make vector addition, the resultant is going to lie in the radial direction. That's what this topic is about. But how to view this is important. For example, assume this is the very thin wire with infinite length, uniform density. Charge density is uniform throughout, very thin wire. Okay. Now I place a you assume a cross section which is circular. Okay. So now I consider 2 points. Suppose this is P1, this is P2. You may ask, oh, but you can take any point. But because of this point and this point, what is the field at a particular point? Assume this point. So I assume this point and this point. Okay. Now these 2 points is acting. So this will be the midpoint. Okay. So now this is going to act in this direction. This is going to act in this direction. So this vector will go in this direction. Okay. And this vector will go in this direction. If you take for a, so the magnitude, since the wire element has a uniform density, therefore what happens is the length, the resultant, we have to find the resultant. Because of this, it is going this way, because of this. So this length and the angle between them, both the, so if you solve for the we have to solve for the resultant force. So if you complete the parallelogram and find the resultant at this point, it goes this way and this way. So the resultant will be here. That means it will be radial to the point of consideration. Okay, that's the point. Another point is, you may ask what happens if I shift the points up or down. So what will happen? If you take this point and find the result, it will be radial. You take some other 2 points and that will be radial. And any other points, it will be radial. So if you imagine the electric flux is radiating all over because of plus Q. Okay. That means the resultant at this point or that point, everything will be radial. That's the answer. Moreover, the flux coming out is constant throughout the radius. So that means what? How do we get the constant flux? Because this wire carrying a uniform charge, positive charge throughout. That means this is the point. That is del Q by del L. The charge density, linear charge density is constant. So what's the result, ultimate result of this explanation is, for a linear charged thin wire, the resultant electric field acts radially. It is not going to act at some angle. That's the point. And another point is, if it is plus Q, it's outward radially. And if it is minus, it is going to act inwards radially. Thank you for your attention.